All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first session of Alexandria Library in partnership with NOVA, Northern Virginia Community College, and the Alexandria's WDC, the Workforce Development Center, as we present resources that these organizations have for newcomers to our community, particularly refugees and immigrants. This session will be recorded, and there will be a brief time for Q&A. If you do have any questions for either of our presenters, you'll be able to put them in the bottom of your screen. You will see a Q&A box as well as a chat box, and you can go ahead and put any questions you have there. We do have limited time, so we have to stay within the hour time frame. So if there is a question that they don't get to, there will be a follow-up email with contact information. Now, without further ado, we have Gul and Amanda from NOVA, the Northern Virginia Community College, and we have Michael and Eddie who will be joining us from the Workforce Development Center. So I think we're going to start first with the Workforce Development Center. So Michael, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, feel free. All right, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay. My name is Michael Briscoe. I'm with the City of Alexandria Workforce Development Center. And what we want to do is provide you some information regarding our business service unit and the services that we provide for the residents of Alexandria, and give you an overview of the process and services that we have here. Specifically, our overview of the Workforce Development Center is that we're a partner of the American Job Center Network, and we offer staffing solutions that provide businesses with employees who are skilled and ready to work. We consider ourselves a one-stop operator, and we serve all skill levels, everyone from master's degrees to individuals with little to no experience. But we also provide some key resources at the WDC. Access to our Career Center, career readiness workshops, and some of the workshops that we offer include transferable skills, master the interview, networking and preparing and navigating a virtual job fair, as well as one-on-one coaching and career counseling, career assessments. And by career assessments, we mean WOWI, which is an assessment that we use for individuals looking to improve their skills or enhance what current skills that they have right now, and a career scope that we use to help them identify better opportunities. This is an assessment tool that measures their interests and skill levels, and customized by also providing hiring events and training. Our public benefits unit at the Workforce Development Center determines eligibility for families who are receiving TANF, which is temporary assistance for needy families, as well as SNAP. SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Program, and the Medicaid and refugee assistance. We also offer assistance regarding the VIEW, which is the Virginia Initiative for Education and Work. It offers parents then assistance for resources needed to help find and keeping a job, and it provides services to them to help overcome job-related challenges. Another service that we offer is called the acronym VESL, V-E-S-L, and it's for low-income residents who need English classes to support their employment and educational goals. As you can see, there's a great list and array of opportunities and services that we provide in this category called the employment-related services. So who are our customers? Well, our customers are actually our clients, businesses, and partners. And by clients, we mean the Virginia Initiative, as we just mentioned, the VIEW, Virginia Initiative, Employment Not Welfare, Vocational English as a Second Language, which is VESL. The general public, anyone in the community who's looking for a job, we're more than willing to assist, and we consider a customer. It's everyone. Individuals experiencing homelessness in shelters, and in relation to businesses, the Alexandrian and non-Alexandrian businesses within the DMV, business associations, and nonprofit organizations. And then lastly, our customers are our partners, community organizations, resettlement organizations, and education and training providers. We like to offer what we call assistance from a distance. You know, we're dealing with virtual assistance at this time right now. So we provide different types of services to meet the needs of our clients and our customers. Career navigation help through WOWI, the WOWI test that we just mentioned a moment ago, and the IEP, which is an individual employment plan. Resume assistance, mock interviews, and other WDC programs, such as most currently our work-based learning project. And the work-based learning project provides a 3-month educational real-life work experience where candidates can apply their knowledge and skills to help increase employment opportunities. Job readiness as well we provide with Job Readiness Works, resume building, master the interview, and these workshops we just mentioned, we provide on a weekly basis, navigating the virtual job fair, job search skills, and networking. Here's a listing of some of our virtual events and resources. We provide Meet the Employer events as well as informational networking sessions, online hiring events, virtual job fairs, as well as free job resources for Alexandrians, which include Career Concourse, Skill Up. And Skill Up is actually, it enables recently laid off workers to demonstrate the kind of initiative employers are looking for by upgrading their skills. And even while most brick and mortar education and training providers remain closed, Skill Up is a metrics that we use for online learning platform, and it provides unlimited access to more than 5,000 Skillsoft courses used by many Fortune 500 companies. We also provide a WDC online job board, as well as federal bonding. And so you may ask, what is federal bonding? The U.S. Department of Labor established the federal bonding program in 1966 to provide fidelity bonds for at-risk, hard-to-place job seekers. These bonds cover the first 6 months of employment at no cost to the job applicant or the employer. What can we offer employers now is actually the assistance for resource support in developing their workforce, referrals, resume screenings, workshops, hiring events, and job fairs, as well as support and access to financial resources, work opportunity tax credit, WOTC, training for employees, as well as what I mentioned just previously, federal bonding, Skill Up, which is a resource for the job seeker and the employer, and labor market services, rapid response services, as well as program cohort support through our work-based learning program. Branding and marketing as well, we do provide through social media postings. We're very active on Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter and Access. We customize business spotlights and job spotlight flyers, as well as feature in-demand jobs on a weekly basis for our featured jobs flyer. And we also offer free job posting on our online job board, free access to virtual job fair platforms through Premier Virtual and Zoom. So what I would like to do is provide you the contact information. I want to make sure I get that information up on the screen so that you can see who that would be that you would reach out to for any immediate assistance. That would be our acting business and community partnership manager, Saeed Habibi. His contact information will be provided to you so that you can touch base with him regarding whatever assistance you might need. And Mr. Habibi would definitely delegate the appropriate contact to meet the services that are best needed to suit your need. We thank you for this opportunity and look forward to answering any of your questions as well. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Michael. That was a lot of information that happened really quickly. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put those in the chat or the Q&A, and we can take those now, for a few minutes, or we can hold them till the end of the program. I would like to also note that the workforce development, a lot of their programs, we do have flyers for them at the Beatley Central Library. So if you need any information on those programs, we have flyers for quite a few of the ones he mentioned before. All right. And let's keep this program moving as we have a lot of information to cover from our other partner, the Northern Virginia Communities College. So Lou and Amanda, if you would like to take it away.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amanda Wilder, and I am with the Office of Recruitment and Admission at Northern Virginia Community College. And I'm going to start off our presentation about NOVA tonight with just some background information about NOVA, what you can expect, and then a little bit about how you could get started. So we are a community college here in the Northern Virginia area, which means that we provide degrees that are 2-year associate degrees or also career certificates and career studies degrees. We have 6 convenient locations across the Northern Virginia area, one of them being in the Alexandria area, along with the next closest one would probably be Annandale, and then our medical education center in Springfield. In addition to offering on-campus classes, we also have a very robust NOVA online course selections. So if that's easier for you than actually getting to class, you can definitely take advantage of our online offerings as well. Post-pandemic, we're still offering a large number of our classes in a remote format as well. So those classes would be taught on Zoom, like what we're doing today, where you can still take and participate in a live class, but still from the comfort of your own home as well. Okay, next slide. Students choose NOVA for a lot of different reasons, but these are top 5 reasons why students decide to start their education or their post-secondary education at NOVA. And the first one would be our small classroom size. Unlike large four-year universities, you're going to find that NOVA's classes usually are between 25 and 40 students. So you're not going to find yourself lost in a lecture hall of 100 students or more, which really gives you an opportunity to get to know the people in your class as well as connect with the professors. We are close to home, we're convenient, and we offer those flexible course offerings that I was talking about earlier with the different formats, but we also offer a lot of evening classes and as well as weekend classes to fit the needs of our busy students. If you're interested in getting that 4-year degree, 4-year bachelor degree, we offer a lot of transfer options where you can take the 2 years at NOVA and push that into that 4-year degree. And we can help you with that transfer process if that's something that you're interested in doing. We have less stringent admissions requirements than our 4-year counterparts. We do not require standardized testing in order to apply. The application is free. And because we are an open access university, it means that you are immediately accepted to NOVA once you complete the application. And then finally, the #1 reason students typically choose NOVA is because of our affordable tuition. For in-state tuition, we are about 1/4 of the cost of our 4-year schools. And so it makes it really affordable for students to get the credentials that they need to get the degree that they need and move on with their careers. Next slide. We do offer over 120 different types of degrees and certificates. Of those, 23 of them are designed to transfer to that 4-year school to complete the bachelor's degree. But we also have 103 degrees and certificates and career studies certificates to put you into the workforce quicker. Our applied associate's degrees are designed to give you hands-on training that you can take into the workforce. Like I said, we also offer some shorter term career study certificates and certificates for returning students as well. If you think about the transferable degrees versus the non-transferable degrees, one of the biggest differences that you're going to see is that those transferable degrees, the ones that go to that 4-year school, really have a very strong gen ed component to them. And what that means is that because you're going to push that towards a bachelor's degree, those degrees have your science, your social science, your humanities, your fine arts, all of those core requirements, as well as a few of the basic level classes for your major. We don't see that in our non-transferable ones. Those ones are really designed to give you hands-on skills and very specific training so that you can go out and get a job. If either of these interest you, we definitely have advisors that can help walk you through which path might be right for you and what your long-term goals are. Next slide. Okay, so you are interested in coming to NOVA. What is your first step? The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to our homepage, which is www.nvcc.edu. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click the apply button. Okay, next slide. All right, next. Okay, so the first thing that it's going to ask you to do once you create that, hit that apply button, is it's going to ask you to create an account just for accessing the application. It'll ask you to verify your username, or to create a username and a password. That way, if you get halfway through the application and you have to save it and come back to it, you don't have to start all over. Okay, so that first account that you're going to create is just for the application. You're then going to go through the application and answer all of the questions. And at the very end, because remember I said that once you hit submit, you are a NOVA student. It's going to go ahead and give you your student ID, your official NOVA username, and a temporary password to access your account. Okay. So that EMPL ID, that student ID, your username, and also that password. So it's really important that you write those things down. Once you have that, you'll want to go to your student account and change that password to something that you're going to remember. Okay, next slide. All right, so we're going to hit the apply button. And then you're just going to bring you to the page where it's going to talk about the application, and you're going to say apply now or continue application. Okay, next slide. These are the sections of the application. The first section is going to ask you just basic questions about who you are. Have you ever been to college before? The next section is going to give you information about how we can contact you, so your mailing address, things like that. Previous educational experience, if you have any military service. And then this next section is going to ask you questions about your residency status. So this is going to be how NOVA is going to determine whether you have in-state or out-of-state tuition. So you'll go through and answer a few questions. We have students all the time who can end up having to go back and do appeals if it's out of state. So there is a bunch of rules and regulations regulating that. So we want to make sure that we're getting you the best tuition rate possible. And then there's two sections of supplemental questions, which typically revolve around your parents' education, as well as if you're interested in online programs or the honors program at NOVA. Make sure that you read through everything very carefully when you're answering questions. It sounds silly, but making sure you type in your name and your address correctly as well, using proper capitalization as well. We want to make sure that your final diploma has your name spelled correctly. Okay. Oh, go back. Yep. So, and like I said, once you hit that submit button, it is going to give you the spinny circle. It takes some time sometimes, so don't panic if it seems like it's taking a while. It's going to confirm that your application has been successfully submitted. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see where it's going to give you that information. Remember that that password is temporary, so it will expire in 72 hours. So we encourage you to log into your account immediately and change it to something that you will remember. Okay, next slide. All right, once you have applied to school or to the college, one of the questions that we get quite often is, how do I know which classes to take? NOVA, like I said, no longer requires a standardized test in order to come, but we do want to make sure that you're successful in the classes that we put you in. If you have graduated from a U.S. high school within 5 years, we're going to use that high school transcript. If you have graduated from a U.S. high school more than 5 years ago, we're going to ask you a series of questions to help you determine where you think your placement is. Okay. And then finally, for students whose home language is not English, your placement may be based on several different things. We can use previous test scores if you've ever taken any of the international tests or the TOEFL. We can also give you an ESL placement test to determine where your English level lies, and an ESL advisor will work with you to determine the appropriate place for you to start so that you are successful. If you do take the English as a second language placement exam, just gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. There is a reading comprehension section. It is 40 multiple choice questions, and you have 45 minutes to complete it. And then our writing section. One where you will read a short paragraph and write a response, and you get 30 minutes to do that. And then an open-ended question to write a response, and you get an hour to do that. Okay, next. If you are interested, once you've applied to NOVA and taking that ESL placement test, you will want to contact the testing center directly, novatesting@nvcc.edu, and let them know that you would like to do that. When communicating with NOVA, it's always really important to include your full name in the email, as well as that student ID, that EMPL ID. It really helps us help you to make sure that we're giving you the right information. Once you've taken the assessment, you'll get your results by email, and you will be provided contact information to follow up with an advisor to make sure that your questions are answered and that you are placed in the appropriate classes. Okay, the next thing that we get, especially for our older students, if you have previous college credits to your name, whether from a school here in the US or abroad, some of that may be transferable to a class here. We're not going to be able to know that though until we get an official transcript from you and our team is able to review the classes that you've taken. So these are the steps, and I know there are a lot of words here, but hopefully you'll have this information and you can refer back to it. But you're going to send that transcript to NOVA, and that is the address of where it needs to go, as well as complete the transfer credit evaluation request form. When you complete this form, basically it gives our college records office a heads up that they should be looking for that transcript to come from that university, and they can start, looking for it and making sure that they're doing the appropriate review from that. And that also includes if you've ever taken any tests such as an international baccalaureate test, an advanced placement test, or CLEP tests. Schools from other colleges, like I said, both here in the United States or abroad as well. This process does take some time. They average 8 to 12 weeks for a turnaround. So just please know that as you're planning ahead. If you're looking at having this your transcript evaluated before starting classes, you're definitely going to want to think about a semester ahead of time to make sure that the College Records Office has time to do that. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Gul, who's going to talk about paying for college and some other resources.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, hello all, and I want to just thank you for joining us today. So the goal for this portion of the session is to provide you with information regarding FAFSA, which is free application for federal student aid. I will also share some information about various types of financial aid, and I will also share additional information regarding other resources that are available here at NOVA beyond financial aid office that may help you while you pursue your education. So as you can see, based on our agenda, we have a lot to cover. So let's get started. So education has a substantial impact on employment prospect. I mean, everybody will agree on that. According to the data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, earnings increase and unemployment decreases as educational attainment rises. And if you look at the chart provided on the slide, grouping workers by education level, the chart shows that those with more education have higher earnings and lower rates of unemployment than those with less education. According to this provided chart, so one may ask, so how much does attending college cost? Cost of attendance is the average annual cost to attend a particular college or university. So you can see based on this chart that it includes not only tuition and fees, but it includes such costs as room and board, your book supplies, and also so-called soft cost, such as personal expenses and expenses related to transportation or travel. So let's look at the numbers pertaining to attending NOVA. So if you compare our tuition figures to other colleges or universities in Washington, D.C. area, you will see that NOVA offers students an exceptional educational value and among the lowest tuition of any college in this area, and all thanks to financial aid support that we get from the Commonwealth of Virginia. So let's talk about financial aid. So financial aid may help you to cover your tuition and fees and other college-related expenses that I've discussed earlier when we're looking at that chart. Financial aid is money that the government and other organizations give our students or lend you so you can pay for your college. To qualify for financial aid, you must complete FAFSA, which is free application for federal student aid. All students are encouraged to apply for aid because we, financial aid office, will not know what you qualify for until you complete that FAFSA application. You may qualify for aid that covers your tuition and fees, books, living expenses, and your transportation expenses. So now I want to discuss different types of financial aid that's available. So generally, there are four main types of financial aid. The first one is grants. So grants are basically free money based on financial aid need. Grants are called gift aid. And the reason is because they don't have to be paid back. Grants come from federal and state government and from the college you attend. Most grants, they're need-based, so which means they're usually given based on yours or your family's financial circumstances. If you would like to be considered for state or college grants, I would highly encourage you to complete FAFSA by NOVA's priority deadline, which is March 1st. So funds for most programs are limited, so that's why I would like to encourage you to apply early. March 1st priority deadline has passed for this upcoming fall 2023, but you still can apply. So if you're interested in attending NOVA for this coming fall 2023 semester, I would encourage you to complete FAFSA as soon as it's possible. Next type of aid that you will encounter, that's work study. Work study is a type of need-based also aid. It's a basically self-help aid that can be earned by working part-time while you're attending college. Jobs are often on campus and they provide flexible hours. All our work study students earn between $12 to $13 per hour, and you can gain valuable experience related to your academic or career goal. The other type of aid that you will encounter, that's a federal student aid that allows students to borrow funds to cover their educational expenses. So the federal government offers low interest loans to students with financial aid need. So if you're thinking, for example, about borrowing a student loan, you may wish to consider federal student loans first before turning to any other type of private loan or credit cards. And the reason is because federal student loans, such as federal direct subsidized or federal direct unsubsidized loans, they generally offer lower interest rate, better borrower protection, and more repayment plans than private student loans or any other credit cards. So it's very important. I would like to emphasize on that. If you apply for financial aid and if you demonstrate financial aid need, you may even qualify for the federal direct subsidized loan that may not accrue interest while you're enrolled at least half time at NOVA. Important reminder while I'm discussing loans, that when you borrow student loans, you absolutely should only borrow what you absolutely need that can help you to cover your tuition and that you actually can afford to pay back, because loans, it's a money that you borrow and you have to pay it back. So I just want to emphasize on that. The fourth type of financial aid that you will see, it's a scholarship. So scholarships are another form of gift aid, just like our grants, but they can be need-based as grants or merit-based. And the eligibility requirements can vary significantly from one scholarship to another. So scholarships are usually competitive. So the more scholarship you apply for, the better your chances of receiving one. Most of the scholarship will require you to submit an essay where you can get a chance to share your story, educational goals, and how that particular scholarship may help you to achieve your goals. The key thing is, when you're writing that essay, it's important to read the directions for that essay. Important reminder while I'm discussing scholarship, if you encounter any type of organization or in a company that asking you to pay for the scholarship, in exchange for a processing cost or some type of upfront payment. If they're asking for anything, please don't do that and just walk away from such organizations or companies. Because when you apply for a scholarship, nobody should be asking you for paying any processing costs or any type of upfront payments. So just remember that. And also, if you check out the link that I provided on the slide, it's a NOVA specific link where you can find a lot of different scholarship that you can get through NOVA. Okay, the next slide, what I'm gonna discuss is we're gonna talk about some basic requirements, eligibility requirements that you have to meet before receiving financial aid. The first one is you have to be a US citizen or you have to be an eligible non-citizen. So for example, I'll give you some example of eligible non-citizen. So permanent residency status holders, or also well known as green card holders, are eligible for financial aid. Eligible non-citizens with arrival departure record, which is also known as I-94 from the Department of Homeland Security, showing the following statuses. For example, refugee, asylum granted, indefinite parole, or humanitarian parole. These statuses are making you to receive financial aid. Also, T visa holders, which is for victims of human trafficking, also make you eligible for financial aid. Our SIV visa holders with a lawful permanent resident status are also eligible to receive financial aid. One thing I want to emphasize, so the eligible non-citizen statuses that I've listed on this slide, these are the status that will make you eligible for financial aid. But there are way more other eligible non-citizen statuses that I didn't list on this slide that may also make you eligible for financial aid. So just keep in mind that financial aid office may require you to submit the documents to verify your citizenship or immigration status before we award you financial aid. The other basic requirement that you have to meet, you have to have a valid social security number. You will be required to provide that social security number when you complete your FAFSA. You also have to have a high school completion document. You have to have document that demonstrate that you completed high school in US or overseas, or you can show an equivalent of high school, which is general education development, which is GED certificate here in United States. Or if you completed a homeschool, then you have to provide that document as well. You also have to be enrolled or accepted for enrollment in an eligible degree or certificate program at NOVA. So what does that mean, eligible program for financial aid purposes? So most programs over 16 credits in length here at NOVA are eligible for financial aid. So just a reminder, these are only basic requirements, so we may request as financial aid office for additional documents to verify your information that you provide on FAFSA. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go to next slide. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the actual FAFSA. So how do you apply for financial aid? So the first thing you should do, complete your FAFSA at the following website provided on the slide, which is studentaid.gov. FAFSA is available for completion each year on October 1st. So on FAFSA, you will be required to submit information such as your basic demographic information, such as your name, address, citizenship, or immigration status. You will be also required to submit your income information. If you are a dependent student for financial aid purposes, so what does that mean? I want to emphasize. You should also provide your parent income information. So typically students who are under 24-year-old, unmarried, and have no military service or have no children that they're financially supporting, they're considered, I'm sorry, that they have children, not I've said no children, students who have children that the financial support are considered dependent student and must report parental information on financial aid application. So the other important thing is when you're completing FAFSA is once you complete your information, you have to electronically sign it for it to be considered successfully submitted. So for that, you have to create an FSA ID. FSA ID is pretty much a number that's assigned to you, and that's your electronic signature that you will be using every year to sign your FAFSA. If you are a dependent student, then you're required to provide your parent information. In that case, you and your parent should sign FAFSA, which means that you have to have an FSA ID and your parents should have an FSA ID. So if you, for example, want to attend NOVA for spring 2022, or this upcoming semester, summer 2022, then you should complete your FAFSA for 2021 and 2022 FAFSA. And you should submit on that FAFSA your income information for 2019 tax year. If you want to attend NOVA for this upcoming fall 2022 semester, spring 2023, or summer 2023 semesters, then you should complete your FAFSA for 2022 and 2023. And you should submit your income information for 2020 tax year. Too many 20s. So if you've earned your income outside of United States, then what you have to do, first you have to convert your income to US dollars, and then you have to report those figures on your FAFSA. So the link on the bottom of this website, so I would highly encourage you to check this out. It's our webpage where it provides guide, step-by-step instruction that will assist you to complete FAFSA. Some important things to remember that each year you have to reapply for FAFSA, even though NOVA's March priority application date has already passed for upcoming fall 2023 semester, you should still submit your FAFSA as soon as it's possible so that you can be considered for financial aid. Okay, so some important takeaways from what I've presented. So once you complete your FAFSA for the first time, you should renew your FAFSA for the following year instead of completing a new FAFSA all over again. So when you click on Renew FAFSA, it will populate all your demographic information from your prior year that will save you time to complete your new FAFSA. NOVA priority deadline to complete FAFSA is March 1st. On FAFSA, you can add up to 10 colleges. For NOVA to receive your FAFSA information, so your FAFSA application, you should add NOVA to your FAFSA. If you don't add us to that list, unfortunately, we cannot get your financial aid. So NOVA school code for financial aid purposes is 003727. So when if you want us to receive your FAFSA application, please find us by that school code on FAFSA, which is 003727. If you need assistance in completing FAFSA, NOVA Financial Aid Office is available for FAFSA appointments in person and virtually. Our assistance is available for free, and I would like to emphasize on this. So important to know that you should not pay anyone to assist you to complete FAFSA. We provide this service for free, and we have experts that will assist you to complete this application. Talking about cost of attendance that I mentioned at the beginning. So students may also charge up to $1,500 per term during the charge period for required books and supplies if any excess financial aid is available after your financial aid is applied towards your tuition and fees. So the link that I provided on this slide will provide you with those specific dates for each semester where you can use that access financial aid to purchase your books or other supplies. Okay, so on that, I'm going to finish up talking about financial aid. And here I want to just share some information about other additional resources that we have here at NOVA that can assist you. Our NOVA's Financial Stability and Advocacy Center program provides students with access to community resources and the knowledge they need to successfully manage their finances. So if you're experiencing, for example, financial, housing, or food insecurity, please visit Financial Stability Program website that's provided on the slide, and please reach out to their team. Once you contact them, I'm sure you will be impressed with their support. They can assist you with determining your eligibility for government benefits such as SNAP, TANF, WIC, and other resources. You can even receive a personalized financial coaching session for free with an accredited financial counselor. So just for more information, please visit their website provided on this slide. Also, to quickly determine if you may qualify for previously mentioned benefits like SNAP, TANF, or WIC, or other community resources, you have to complete a single stop screener that's provided through the Financial Stability Program. If you go to nvcc.singlestoptechnologies.com, that's I provided the link on the slide. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to calculate your eligibility for resources such as childcare services, energy assistance, as I mentioned, SNAP, WIC, even healthcare coverage, immigration assistance, or a legal assistance. So once you go to this link, you would need to click sign up and enter your email as your username and create a password for your account. It will ask you to provide your phone number. So just please make sure you provide an accurate phone number, because that phone number will be used by the Financial Stability Program staff to contact you to further assist you with your application. The other grant that we have available at NOVA, it's a Child Care Access Means Parent in School grant, which is known as Campus. It's a federal Department of Education grant that's meant to assist our students who are parents, and that program basically provides funds to our students to pay for childcare and other resources that can help students to stay in school and complete their college goals, and of course eventually graduate. So the application is available on their website. I've provided the link to their website. On their website you can complete the application. Some general requirements for that grant is you have to have a FAFSA that I discussed earlier on file. So you have to have that on file. You must be eligible for federal Pell Grant. Again, in order to determine whether you're even eligible for federal Pell Grant, you have to have that FAFSA on file. You must maintain a certain GPA. In this case, it's a minimum of 2.0, and then student must maintain satisfactory academic progress. If you have any questions regarding that particular grant, you're more than welcome to email them. So I provided their email as well. Okay, so that wraps up the slides for today's webinar. And with that, if we have time, we'll take your general questions. If you have any specific questions related to if you're already applied to NOVA or anything specific to your situation, please contact Financial Aid Office using the contact information provided on our website that I provided on this slide, or you can call the 24-hour Student Support Center at 855-323-3199. If you have any questions regarding admissions process or any information provided by Amanda today, then I am encouraging you to contact admissions office by their email that's provided on this slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Gul. And again, those emails, along with the contact information for WDC, will go out in a follow-up email. Now, we do have some time and we do have a few questions. So we'll just take these. It looks like from Farrar has 2 questions, and I think they may be for Amanda and for Gul. So I think for Amanda, she would like to know if a scanned document of a transcript is okay.
A scanned document of a transcript, like for credit evaluation, is fine for us to let you know maybe for placement or like if you have had a biology class before and you're wanting to take a higher level one, we can use a scanned copy to help place you in classes. But if you're looking for official transfer credit, we will need an official transcript from the university sent directly to NOVA.
Okay, and then I'm not sure if Gul or Amanda would be best posed or placed to answer this, but correct me if I'm wrong, but you're asking about financial aid that you've received from a state. Are there obligations to stay in the state that offers you financial aid once you accept it for a certain number of years?
Okay, so I think they're asking what are the eligibility requirements for a state grant, correct? So I think that's what I'm
Okay.
I think that's what I'm taking from this question. I may be wrong. So first, the state grant that we offer, it's a limited funding. So that's why during my presentation, I have been, I've emphasized that it's very important to complete FAFSA by NOVA's priority deadline, which is March 1st. And even though we passed that deadline, I still want to encourage everyone to apply for it, but it is a limited funding. That's first thing I want to emphasize. You have to be a student at NOVA and you have to meet certain criteria to receive that state aid. The important things to emphasize, if you receive the state aid 1 year, it doesn't guarantee that you will be getting it next year because it's a limited funding. So going back to the question, whether you have to stay at in state, you have to be a student at NOVA. So let's assume if you're an online student and you're attending it from somewhere else, that's fine. But again, you have to have FAFSA, you have to meet certain criteria, and it's a limited funding. So if you received 1 year, there is no guarantee you're gonna receive it next year. I hope it answered your question.
Yeah, and Farah, if you want to clarify, feel free to put it in the chat. It also sounds like maybe asking these questions with your own particulars, you could always use a follow-up email. The other question we had is from Surikia Marshall, and I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. And it looks like he's here from Afghanistan and lives here in Northern Virginia and was previously a journalist. And he would like to study journalism and also look for a job in journalism. So I guess the question is how to start that. So maybe Michael, do you have any advice for re-entering the journalism profession, or how to perhaps, do you guys have resources to help someone put together a resume and a job search when they're moving their skills from one country to another country?
Yeah, I'll take that question. Yeah, I would like to do some one-on-one resume building with this person if I can get their email address afterwards. With someone who has a background in journalism and it's new to a country, we'd like to see what their barriers are and if there's any English barriers or anything like that. And if not, then we go on to just tailor their resume to the job postings or the job availability that exists in our area and kind of work from there. And then we also see what kind of partners WDC has that may have positions for journalists open and see if we can facilitate any kind of connection or introduction. So with a question like that, I would love to start off by working with her on a one-on-one basis and see if we can help her out individually.
Yeah, and you know what, I can connect you to, because Sokoya Marshall, I believe you emailed me earlier today, so I can connect you to Eddie over email. Or Eddie, if you want to put your email in the chat, yes, so that they may email you directly, that might be helpful too. And then I guess Nova, if you'd like to take the second part of that question about continuing studies in journalism.
Yeah, so if you're interested in continuing to take classes, the first thing I would definitely do would be to apply and then have your previous transcript evaluated for credit and for placement. Nova offers some journalism courses, and I think really sitting down with an advisor would be the best route to go to kind of talk about what those long-term goals are. Are you looking for just some additional classes? Are you looking to get another degree? Wanting to transfer, other higher ed degrees. So that would be the first place to start, and then sitting down with an advisor and seeing how we can help you reach your goals.
All right. And then the next question is probably for Gul. Hello, do you have any special scholarships or financial assistance programs for the new Afghan refugees for health?
Thank you for your question. That's a great question, actually. So currently, we don't have anything specific for this group of potential students. So if there is anything, we'll definitely share that. But what I can encourage, I think Zainab, right? Send that question if I'm not mistaken. What
Yes.
I would encourage you, please complete FAFSA first. And then we have different type of grants and other type of assistance right now beyond federal grant. We have a lot of grants provided by the Commonwealth currently. So that's where I think would be your starting point. Complete FAFSA. We will contact you if we need any documents from you to award you. But currently, I know there is something in work, but we don't have anything concrete for this particular group of students from Afghanistan, unfortunately.
But you do have a health campus, right? It sounded like in the beginning of your presentation, you did have.
We do, our MAC campus, correct.
Yeah, so even it does seem like there's programs for that. And then the WDC, do you have any job training or anything education related to healthcare industries?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry. For healthcare, do we have any training or education related to the healthcare industry?
Yeah.
We do not currently, but through our work-based learning program, we can connect them with potential healthcare partners or companies. And through the work-based learning program, we would be paying the client or the employee for a 3-month period where the healthcare provider or the healthcare business doesn't have to. So it would incentivize them to take on our clients because they'll be getting an employee for a 3-month period for free, and that employee or client will be getting that training. So that's something that we've done in the past. Currently, we don't currently have anyone off the top of my head to partner with, but we're working on that. And if I work with that person individually, or we can discuss further exactly what specific position or role they're looking for, we can maybe narrow our target.
Great, thanks. And then it was shared, I'm not sure if everyone's reading the chat, but in regards to that question, Clint Young from Nova did say that there are, after you apply for financial aid, there are emergency grants and things that you can also apply to. So if you are interested, it seems like the best thing to do would be just to follow up with financial aid and admissions at Nova, or with Eddie if you're interested in getting right into the workforce. All right, well, I just want to thank everyone for your times. If anyone has any quick last minute questions, you can put them in the chat, but we have reached the end of our hour. I do want, oh yeah?
Yeah, Ruth, hi. I wanted to address that question that Farah asked. I think her question was basically about in-state and out-of-state tuition rate for the first year. You have to be in-state for at least a year before you receive in-state tuition rate. That was Farah's question. And Farah, to answer your question, you can receive financial aid without being here for at least a year if you meet the eligibility criteria. You will receive out-of-state tuition rate, but you could still be eligible for financial aid, and you don't have to wait a whole year if you're eligible for financial aid. That was, I think, her question about in-state and out-of-state tuitions.
Oh, thank you. That does clarify it a lot. All right. Yes, thank you. All right. Well, excellent. Thank you for the assist, Sarif. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time. This is going to be a continuing monthly program. So if you know someone who would be interested in this information, or if you think of follow-up questions, please be sure to return to this program. It'll be the same link. So feel free to share it with friends or interested parties. I'd like to thank the WDC and NOVA for their partnership this evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ruth, and everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And again, this is recorded, so it will be available on the library's YouTube channel. All right. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.